Okay, so I have a 97 BMW 540i. This is an early 97. There's a couple differences between the, late 97s and early 97s. This one is built, as you can see, where is the sticker? September of 96. So that means it has the 530 HP transmission, like the 7 Series would have of this year, maybe the next year up. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, my car was having the dreaded transmission whine, kind of between, say, 1,000 and 1,500, probably between 1,500 and 3,000 RPM. It would kind of make a whining noise if I rev the engine, or when I start it when it's cold, and then kind of when I shift gears. And it was also it wasn't shifting at the right times. It was just doing weird stuff, and sometimes it wouldn't want to lock up a bunch of stuff, but mainly it was just this whine. And the more you drove the car, and once it warmed up, it would start to get better, but it would take a while, and it was really irritating driving the car when it was cold. And I knew something was wrong with it, so I tried to take it back to the mechanic who put the fluid in there, and he was being a jackass. He was saying that it wasn't making any noise. And then I tried to take it to somebody else, get him to change the fluid, and I tried to tell him, well, you have to put it on the stand and run the car while you pump it in there. No, they didn't want to do that. You're not supposed to run the car while you add fluid to it. So since nobody wants to help me, I had to do it myself. So I went online and I ordered some Pintosin ATF1, and this is the one the car takes if you have the I believe the green label on the transmission, which is what mine has. It should be ATF1, and you need to add it to the car while it's level. So I am really skinny, and this was a tight fit, but since my driveway slopes down here downhill, I put the ramps there, and when the car pulled up, it was almost level. It wasn't quite, but I mean, it was the best I could do, really. So you need to get a pump of like this type. You can buy these at the auto parts store, and it's got a straw on the bottom, and it goes down the bottle. And then then you also need to buy, where is it, a 17 millimeter wrench. All right, let's see if I can find one of these types right here. This is my 17. This is what I use to get the drain plug out. And at least on the 5 HP 30, if you look at the transmission pan, there's a section in the middle that's kind of raised up, and you're going to have to go up into like that raised up section of the pan up in there and put that in there and remove the drain plug. Now, if the car is not running when you pull it out, all the fluid's going to pour out. But it's set, the transmission is designed so when the car is running, the fluid level should be at the top of where that drain plug is. So, when you turn the car off, all the fluid comes out of the torque converter and it rises. So if you pull the drain plug out with the car not running, bunch of fluid is going to leak out. But you're supposed to start it with it running, and then you stick the hose in from that bottle I had, and there's a slot. If you can look on the keyhole here on the transmission, I don't know how well it's going to pick up. See this little area here on the bottom of the transmission? There's a place in the back where it's kind of cut out, and that's so you can stick the hose in, and it will curve, and it will go into the front part of the transmission pan a little bit, and then you can just pump your fluid in. And you want to have the car warm, not like, you just drove it on the interstate warm, but you're supposed to get it completely to operating temperature and then let it cool off for a little while. I can't remember the exact temperature, but let it cool off for just a little bit, and then so the fluid expands, and then start the car up, get it running on a level surface, and then pump that fluid in until it pours out. And then once it starts to pour out, then I put the drain plug in there kind of loosely, get in there, move it through the gears, kind of maybe rev the engine a little bit, but mainly move it through all the gears, reverse, second and first and all that, and then put it back in park. With it still running, come back there, make sure you see if you can add any more, and then put the fluid back in. My car only turned out to be, and this is probably considering I spilled so much on the ground because I was trying to do everything in this tiny area where I didn't have enough room. I used less than a half a liter, so probably about 0.6 or 600 milliliters, and that's that made a huge difference. Even I tried stopping at this, you know, around 25 milliliters, and then I just drove a little bit. It wasn't quite good, so I added a little bit more, and yeah, just being like, you know, less than a half a liter low, I mean, that made a huge difference. The car, it still seems to kind of be shifting a little bit rough, so I'm going to have to do a complete fluid change on it probably, and all that driving around with it whining probably wasn't good for it, but it made a massive difference. Like, it's not whining anymore. So if this doesn't resolve the issue, I'm going to drive a little while, then I'll try to post an upload of doing the fluid change. Also, if any of y'all have any experiences on this, go ahead and post it in the comments, how you were able to fix your whine. Alright, thank you.